Hello, Jessa. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Started a new job. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm glad that you made it in. And I'm glad that you called last week to come talk about your concerns, schedule this appointment. I would just like to go over with you first before we start this informed consent.
Okay.
So what this is just it just goes over some of the rules that we have to go by when I choose to interview you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to thank you for participating in my assignment also, because you are this is going to be put on YouTube and it will be shown to my teacher.
Okay.
As well as that, whatever's brought up in this interview, if anything like abuse to a child, youth, elderly, or disabled persons, even yourself, self-harm, I would then have to contact the appropriate authorities about those issues and try and help you resolve some of that, right?
Okay.
Are there any concerns about the confidentiality between me and you or those issues?
I have no concerns with those issues or the confidentiality. I think it's pretty good.
Okay. And then just the final thing is that sometimes in counseling, it can lead to very stressful situations that I'm asking you to share with me. And it's totally okay if you don't want to, or if you just feel like you want to stop the interview. That's totally fine if you want to do that.
Okay.
But if you're totally okay with that, and you're totally okay with the video and stuff like that, like just my teacher will be seeing it and everything like that. Would you mind signing?
Yep. Yep.
Awesome. So, what brings you in? What's been going on with you?
I think I wanted to come in and have an appointment with you. Just because there's been a lot of changes going on at work, and I've been having some challenges at work, and I don't normally have challenges at work. Normally do a pretty good job at most of the things that I do, so I'm having a really hard time just navigating through my challenges and just dealing with the difficult things that are coming up in my new role at work and in all the things that I'm learning at this time.
So just what I'm hearing is just like all the things are just kind of becoming overwhelming, or is it just you feel like you don't have the resources where you know what to do?
I feel like, yeah, it's overwhelming, but like not to a point where like I can't handle it yet, but like that's why I wanted to come in and talk with you. And I don't really know exactly how to handle all of the things that are going on, but like I'm hoping by coming in and talking to you and just being able to talk about some of my problems that maybe we can find some things that I can try.
Yeah. So what are some specific problems that you're having currently with your new roles and things like that?
Like there's many issues that I've been having in my new role. But like for example, one thing that I'm currently dealing with, and I don't even know entirely how I'm going to deal with it. It actually just happened today at work. We've been preparing for this program. It's gearing up to start, and it's an 11-week program, and we have like the most clients that we've ever had enrolled in the program, so it's kind of a big deal. And we've got credits assigned to the program, and like we're just really excited about this program. So a few people, like a few staff members, were coming to the event because some of them have never seen an opening of a program, and some of them might be working in the program, and so we had a bit more staff than we normally did. So again, it was just like a big event. and it was kind of, it was a big event in the sense that it meant a lot to us too.
Yeah.
And we wanted it to go off really well.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I showed up, so before I got there was other staff preparing because I had other things to do before I went to the opening. And when I got there, 2 of my team members were there, and we had a guest in the room, and the guest, we had talked about inviting the guest, and we had then purposely said we weren't going to invite the guest.
Okay.
Between me and one of the coworkers, because it's the one coworker's job to do that. It's her program. She's the coordinator. She decides, or she invites who comes and goes to the program. She takes suggestions from everybody. But in the end, we thought that our staff could handle it, and that our staff could do just as good of a job as the guests did at doing what they came in to do. So we really didn't think it was needed, and we really didn't think that we needed to use any of our budget towards that.
Yeah.
So then we showed up and he was there. Yeah.
So what are some things that happened? Like, so she just totally ignored what the team decided?
Well, that's the thing too. So like, it's the one coordinator's job to plan the event. So when the other team member asked about inviting this guest, I said, "Okay, talk to this team member." Like, to be honest, I was super busy, and I couldn't even chat with her about it. But I honestly sent her to the right person to chat with about it, anyways, because that's who makes the decision in the end, really.
Yeah.
Or that's who I trusted to make the decision, anyways. So either she didn't have the conversation, or she just blatantly ignored us. I'm not entirely sure. Like, I also have to go and I have to talk with her about it and just see what happened. Like, did you do what I asked you to do? And if you did you just not listen to the person that told you what we wanted?
Yeah.
And then the real kicker is that we thought she could handle it. Like, we thought she could do all those things, and it's not a negative thing, it's a really positive thing. Like, we thought she had those abilities to do that, and we didn't think we needed to bring anybody else in.
Yeah. So what happened when you guys noticed that he was there? What happened after that? Did a conversation happen with her? Did you guys ask him why he was there? What happened when you guys realized that he was there and that she had kind of just invited him anyways?
That's part of the reason I want to talk to her too, because like, the one coordinator was like, "He just kind of showed up in front of everybody," which is like kind of offensive to our guest.
Yeah.
Because he was clearly invited by somebody. And then, so we have one coworker that's saying, "He just showed up." And then we have another coworker who just did her own thing and invited them. So it's like, it created an awkward situation that didn't need to be there. And, like, it was just not a good, I wish that part wasn't included in the opening.
Yeah. So the problem is obviously just the situation that happened, right? So what do you want to happen from the conversation that you have from her, though? What do you, like, is your superiors going to be there when you choose to talk to her? Or are you just going to choose to talk to her just one-on-one before you choose to take it to that level?
Well, I'm the team lead of the team, so I do have some supervisory roles with her, so I'll likely just bring up the conversation myself, because that's, again, part of the, like, things that I have to learn and do in my new job and stuff like that, even though I'm not really 100% comfortable doing it. So I have to have that conversation with her, and I'm really just hoping that, like, I'm hoping to build her confidence. In the sense, because, like, the part of the thing that could have been avoided in this situation is that I wanted her to know that she has those abilities and she's capable of those things. So one thing I want to touch on is just, like, her confidence and just knowing that we don't need to bring a bunch of people in all the time.
Yeah.
because she has those abilities. But then just also respecting the coordinator and the coordinator's roles and the work the coordinator put into that opening and all the details that she put into the opening to have a surprise guest show up and to be part of that opening. I kind of just want her to understand why that could be upsetting to somebody who spent all that time planning it, when although she's interested and wants to help plan it, she's able to offer suggestions and things like that. That's not her role, and the coordinator doesn't interrupt her and say this is what you need to do and this is how you need to teach. So it's just respecting each other's roles I want to get across.
So yeah, it just sounds like there just needs to be some sort of role clarification and just kind of like a conversation needs to happen between a couple people, right? So what are some things that you're hoping to get out of coming to counseling, say for a few sessions? How would you like this to help your situation? Just somebody, you know.
I'm hoping by coming to counseling, that, like, for one, I just get to talk to somebody, like, I get to talk about my problems out loud with somebody and kind of just have somebody to discuss those things with. Like, two brains are always better than one, and like two different perspectives. And because sometimes, like, maybe I'm being harsher than I have to be, or like maybe I don't exactly know the best way to be leading, and I'm always open to suggestions because I'm learning in my new role. So just kind of like somebody to talk to, and then also maybe like when we're talking with each other, if we can, if possible, like just through the conversations, and if it arises, because I just feel like having the conversations, it just starts to come up, and just coming up with like strategies, or like maybe like keywords to try, or like just different approaches to try, and different points of views to try and tackle an issue.
Yeah, I definitely think that some goals should be put in place where we can kind of see the progress that's happening, right? So I think that starting with a conversation should be maybe something that you can clearly see happening, you know, and it's not something that's without the reach because you guys work together. So does that sound like something that you would want to see?
Yes, it's something that I want to see. I definitely want to see it. It's just getting the courage to do it, and building up my confidence, and just believing in myself and knowing that I can do it. Because I can do it, but really feeling like that is like the biggest struggle I think that I have with those conversations. And it's definitely not that I don't want them to happen. It's just like I just gotta like say like you're gonna be fine and go for it.
Yeah, because I think nothing bad can happen just by having a conversation. I think that not having the conversation is worse than having the conversation, right?
Yeah, I think so too. And I think even though I know that, sometimes I still let things build up. Like, it's really easy to say those things. It's just so hard to actually act on them.
Well, we have our small goal now where we're just starting with the conversation, and then the next time we meet, which will be whenever you want next week, if you want it to be, then we'll make new goals from that point on, or I'll make new suggestions for the situations that come up then. Okay, because I think that we're about out of time, and I think so we'll reschedule you in, and then we'll go from there, and I hope that things really work out. Okay?
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.